The finals just got some brand new developer updates, as well as those pertaining to bugs and contracts. We also got some brand new movement tech and even some things with the data reshaper that you probably didn't know. We got some more information on the new rank status, as well as a pretty extensive stat tracker, and a whole bunch more. What's up world, it's Utopia back in the video, and today we're checking out all things the final. Okay, so jumping right into it, we do actually have some developer updates as far as the contract stuff goes and the bug stuff as well. This pertains to, contracts as well as even melee stuff. So currently, even after the recent update, we did actually have a contract bug, which was deal 250,000 structural damage using contested equipment or loadouts mission. This was essentially not tracking properly and not working. Now first, we had a few Embark employees looking into this, both Dusty and Oscar. Now first up, we did have a reply here from Dusty asking if this was working prior to the updates. They also said they were looking into this. And yeah, we do actually have an update from Embark Oscar, who went on here to say, "Hello everyone, sorry for the slow communication on this. As we've seen by now, we've swapped out the contract. It was quicker than fixing the current one. It seems like they were just having some tracking issues there with that quest overall and that contract." We also did have some stuff being looked into about melee and melee hit registration. I think I've had a few comments before about the hit registration as far as melee goes, as well as even with the FAMAS prior. Seems like with some of the recent recoil fixes, as well as some of the fire rate with the FAMAS, that was mostly fixed. However, we do still have some hit registration issues with melee weapons. However, we did have Embark Dusty here reply to that, where they wanted to say that they don't always respond to every bug, but this is a big one that they're looking into. They said that yes, the team is looking into it. Thank you for the reports. They want you to keep sending the videos and other descriptions of how the game feels when you play, all in this section here under bug reports for the melee. And they said that all that good info will help them figure out the root of the issue and the best solution. It seems like this was a very widely talked about bug, as there's been a lot of replies in this section. So for those who do play melee, hopefully that hit detection and hit registration is addressed sometime soon. I assume it'll be done fairly fast, as the FAMAS stuff was addressed pretty quickly. This looks like a very widely known bug, or at least a lot of people are discussing it. There's a lot of emotes under this message as well, so there was a ton of discussion there, as well as just that itself. On a side note here, for the last of the developer updates, we had this comment here from Dusty that was quite interesting to me overall. If you've been following Embark as well as some of the stuff that they've been doing, they're actually working on another game that's called Arc Raiders. More than likely, I'm also going to cover that game as well, as when the finals used to have a partner program or a content creator program. I do believe as far as that is now, that's been shut down, or at least been MIA for the most part. However, there was Arc Raiders listed under that, so I do believe when that game comes around, or there's a lot of beta tests, there's going to be a lot of stuff there. I'm definitely probably going to be covering that game, as I really liked Embark's first game here, and I had already planned on covering it previously when I saw the trailers. However, we have a comment here from Embark Dusty. This was a reply in a bug thread. However, this is quite interesting about Arc Raiders, where he went on to say that they're working very hard on both the finals and Arc Raiders. Again, nothing too crazy there, but I do think it's kind of a notion that, hey, we're still working on this other game as well. As yeah, the studio is not just working on the finals, but also Arc Raiders too. Again, even though it's very broad there, it's still nice to know that they are putting an effort on both games there. And I also want to give you guys an update that I will be covering a lot of speculative stuff with Arc Raiders in the coming months. There was a closed alpha that happened last year around June, and currently you can request access for that, but I do believe that's completely shut down as of right now. And I'm not too sure that that's how you're going to be able to get into the next either closed alpha or closed beta. However, that is available on Steam right now. You can request access. Again, we'll have to wait and see on all that there. I will eventually give some updates on that game. Now, we did actually have some new movement tech with the goo again. Again, you can launch yourselves. You don't need a barricade this time, and any class can do this. This was shown off by the ruler of measurement over on YouTube, where you essentially place goo in front of you. You put a few bullets into the area of where you're going to be jumping onto, because yes, you will need to jump onto the actual goo. You'll drop a grenade somewhat near of where you're going to stand when you want to launch yourself, then proceeding to jump on top of the goo, and once it goes off, it will launch you, and you can do a last second jump that will push you even further. It was a little bit difficult to get this one going, but with some further practice, I was able to figure it out. I'll also link down the ruler of measurements video down below so you can check out his stuff and his gameplay, as well as this Reddit thread so that you can discuss that further. There's some really cool movement stuff with goo, and we've had a ton of launching stuff and floating things of that nature. Just some even more movement mechanics with the goo, and there's a lot there, obviously. Just when you thought the goo couldn't get any more powerful, it keeps seeming like this is kind of becoming meta, at least as far as launches go and kind of movement tech. Still really cool to see all the variability with the game overall. Again, we'll have to wait and see on what Embark does end up nerfing or changing with some of the movement tech. There's been a couple things like teleporting stuff, so I'm assuming that's probably going to get patched. However, with these launches, I assume they probably won't get patched because there's so much setup to it and they are a bit niche in some aspect. We also did get some stuff about the data reshaper. Reshaper, which is just cool stuff that not even the trailer showed, or I didn't really see anybody even discussing. Where we had a post here from King Text over on the Reddit, who went on to show that you can defuse live grenades with a data reshaper. So yes, if someone launches a grenade at you, you can actually use a data reshaper to completely change it. However, currently it doesn't seem to actually change it into anything, it just kind of disintegrates the grenade, or essentially diffuses it. That is some really cool tech here. I never thought I'd see anything like that, never heard anything during the private event, never heard anybody talk about that in any of the comment stuff. So definitely some cool useful tips there, and definitely makes the data reshaper actually more viable. Moving on though, we do have that new stat tracker, or a stat tracker for the finals. Now of course you can check the leaderboards online and some of the things there. However, there is currently a final stat tracker app. I actually had a person privately message me and let me know about this. This was actually one of my subscribers who let me know about this. It took me a while to get to it. I forgot to mention it a few times, but I did want to include this here. Again, this is from one of my subscribers, Do6, who ended up linking me this page, which showed me that there is a stat tracker app. Now currently this app is only able to be used on Windows. Looks like there is no iOS or Google Play version as of yet. It looks like there's a broad range of things that you can actually track with this. They also do have a Discord, so I'll link down below to that as well, where you can compare and contrast different stats. There's different player cards that you can change and you can share with other people as well. But again, just to preface, this is an unofficial app. This is not officially linked with Embark. However, as far as I can tell, they say here that the app only uses game data that is visible to the player on the game screen, and so the same calculations can be done by just simply using pen and paper. So it doesn't seem like there's doing anything crazy. There's no usage of hidden data or manipulation there, and it should be fine with the anti-cheat, but I do want to preface that just beware that this is an unofficial app. Still pretty cool there. I think this is a pretty decent way of at least tracking your stuff. You can also track your match to match stuff, which is really cool there. Again, a ton of stuff there. If you really want to delve into the actual stat stuff, I will link down to this page down below. Now, in one of my previous videos, I did want to talk about the ranked stuff, as well as hoping that ranked would get a little bit better with some of the recent fixes and changes. It does seem a bit better, but here we do have this post saying that bronze and diamond were in the same lobby from a solo queuer. However, as a commenter here pointed out, that bronze had the gold matching, which was in his lobby. This doesn't change the fact that gold and diamonds are still too big of a difference there. As someone else mentioned, if you want to just wait longer, you'll probably be in a longer queue time, but you can turn off crossplay, especially if you are on console. It does seem like for the most part, if you do have crossplay on, you will get a little bit more broader range there. However, you'll be waiting a lot longer if you do have that turned off. Hopefully some of this stuff does get better there with the matching, and the matchup is a lot more fair balanced, especially if we do see that player count spike again, at least with another either update or season update. A last minute mentionable here is just another skin idea. I thought I'd mention this one because it is kind of too perfect. This was suggested on the Reddit that a Whoopi gas mine would essentially be perfect for the game. It just kind of fits way too well, and it really does look cool. This person edited it in to kind of showcase what the mine would look like, and yeah, it would fit in really well. Definitely stands out, and Embark's taking a ton of skin ideas, so let's hope they take this one as well. Overall, that's about cover for today's video. If you like and subscribe, and until the next one, deuces.